Good morning, everybody. My name is miahtheking, and remember to never trust atoms. They make up everything. Now, today we're taking a look at a game that just released earlier today called Lawless West, developed and published by First Games Interactive. It barely has any descriptor on Steam, so all I got to go on is the video and pictures, which, as we all know, tend to be, they tend to exaggerate half the time. Not only that, but sometimes they're just outright, lies. And, you can never really tell, so you always got to dive into it, But it says it's historical, these are the tags anyway, third person, CRPG, RTS, and strategy. So let's dive into this together and find out if it's worth our time and money, shall we? But before we actually do get into it, have you heard about this new segment I released on my channel, and will continue to release on my channel every Friday? It's miahtheking's Game of the Week, where I take a look at awesome games that were released, forever ago, like some 20 odd years ago, and re-expose them to the masses. Why? I do this for two reasons. The first is so that all of you understand where I'm coming from when I review modern day games, because those ones from 20 years ago, I grew up on. But the second and more important reason is to try to help spread the awareness and spread these games out to you guys. There are people out there who've never seen some games, or maybe you're too young and you weren't there when you weren't around when the games were released, or maybe you played them and you just forgot. So I'm here to make sure that everyone gets a chance to see some of these older legendary games. Or at least that's what the point of the segment is supposed to be. So make sure you tune in every Friday and check out miahtheking's Game of the Week and see if an old favorite of yours pops up, or maybe a hidden gem that you might have missed pops up. Now then, on to the rest of this video. Now, this video of mine is probably not going to earn me any money because of how short it's going to be. I mean, my videos don't normally earn me a whole lot of money anyway, but even so, I still felt I needed to do this one. And, honestly, I don't even think I need to worry too much about this game, because it is, only $7. It sells for $7 American dollars, and it was not released in early access, by the way. But even so, it's the principle, it's the point of what this game is doing, and that's why I had to do a video on it. And you'll find out what I'm talking about a little bit later, but this game is awful. Now, don't get me wrong, technically speaking, for $7, it is worth its asking price, just based on length of play and the genre. But as you can clearly see by watching this video, or if you looked at the video on the Steam store page, this is a tower defense game. But that's all it is. The Steam store page is still lying to you. The only thing the store page says truthfully is that it's a strategy, because yes, there is some form of strategy in most tower defense games. But nowhere on the page does it mention anything about being a tower defense game, anywhere. And I don't care if it's in the video or in the screenshots, you still need to say that somewhere. Especially when that's all it is. The writing here is bland, boring, uncreative, the art style is just average, the gameplay is slow, especially for a tower defense game. I mean, they crawl across that screen, it's just awful. They don't even have any effects for your quote-unquote tower units firing. It's all invisible, so you've got like a cowboy with a machine gun, and there's crappy sound effects, but nothing else. There's no bullets flying anywhere. The music is generic, and so are the sound effects, but get this, they also cut in and out in a very obvious broken way all the time at random points. Oh, and here's the biggest flaw so far. The mouse doesn't show up at all in the game. Like, at all. Imagine playing a tower defense game on a PC, but you don't have a mouse. Oh, and none of the buttons on your keyboard do anything either, except I think escape. And I don't know, I guess it's possible that they do something, but I hit the whole keyboard, nothing happened. So, see how this video looks confusing with me just randomly clicking on things and things just randomly popping up? It's not because I hid the mouse in my recording, that's just because it's not showing up. I had to keep guessing where my mouse was. I did finally manage to somehow get into the gameplay and somehow kind of figure out how to build units and whatnot, but it was super confusing and annoying and absolutely no fun. I had to pause the review because I discovered something after I was done recording my initial video here. I did discover a way to be able to see and use the mouse. You have to put the game into windowed mode to be able to see the mouse while you play. That shouldn't be there, and I still stand by the rest of this video. However, if you put your game into windowed mode, you'll be able to see the mouse. Okay? I just wanted to put that in there. But as far as I could tell, that was the only way to get it to work. Now, back to the rest of this. But even if I had had the mouse, I would have been done playing in mere moments. I mean, I grew up playing Warcraft 3 Battle.net minigames. If you don't know what that is, it's exactly like the modern-day StarCraft 2 online custom multiplayer minigame maps. Tower defense minigames is what I spent years of my life doing, and yet somehow I never got any better. Look, if you like tower defense games, and if you like the Old West, then this game is a good one for you, I guess. But I would still recommend you wait a few days or a few weeks before you buy it, in the hopes that the developers will put a damn mouse into the game at the very least so you can frickin' see it. Oh, and maybe they could clear up some of those animations. Maybe give us some other ones like the bullets flying or whatever, and maybe stop the sound from cutting in and out. I mean, if they do all that, then this will be a perfectly average tower defense game. But until then, the ones made by random fans on Warcraft 3 are superior, so just go play the tower defense games on there or on StarCraft 2. By the way, game devs, how is this game considered third person? Do you know what third person means? I'm going to give you a few examples of video games that are actually third person. Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. Grand Theft Auto, all of them. Mass Effect, all of them. The Witcher games, all of them. The Legend of Zelda games, all of them. Those are third person games. This is not. So that's just an outright lie. So either the Steam store page made some serious mistakes, or the developers are lying to everyone, which for me is reason enough not to buy them or trust them. Everyone knows what a third-person game is, or they should know what a third-person game is, especially if they're going to label their game third-person. Know what it is before you do that. This is clearly not that. So, tell me, my viewers out there, what do you think? Should we trust them when they outright lie on the Steam store page? Should we buy a broken, shoddy product? Do you think this game is worth our time, or the $7, when they lie on the Steam store page and release this broken, buggy game? I don't care if it's only $7. It's the principle. This is ridiculous, and yes, I am a little upset by this. If the game had been labeled correctly on the Steam store page, or even if it had somewhere said on there that this was a tower defense game, and if it hadn't released as a broken, buggy mess, I probably would have given it an average review without any anger. I might not have reviewed it at all, because, I mean, if it's a $7 tower defense game and everybody knows what it is and it releases as an average tower defense game, what's the point of me reviewing it, right? But now you see why I'm doing this video? Because this is ridiculous. Oh, also, how is this an RPG? Okay, I mean, technically any game can be an RPG. They can be a role-playing game because, you know, you could be role-playing as the driver in that racing game. But come on, everyone knows when we're talking about RPGs, we're talking about a specific type of game. Because you could call any video game a role-playing game. So when you say RPG, we're talking about a specific type of game. What type of games are normally RPGs? Those ones I mentioned earlier, those are RPGs. So they're basically putting this game in the exact same genre as those games I mentioned earlier. They're putting it on the same level when it comes to labeling as Witcher 3, Legend of Zelda, Grand Theft Auto. I mean, what? It's just insane. It almost feels like a troll. Look, my recommendation and my own personal opinion is just avoid this game. Don't buy it, it's not worth it. Go to StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3 and play the tower defense minigames there, okay? At least then, you'll get quality product. Alright? So, yeah, that's all I got for this video, guys. Do you see now why I had to make this video? If you don't, that's fine, I get it. But it was a principle and pride thing. I had to do this. Remember, part of the reason I started this channel was to try to improve the gaming community, which means weeding out the obvious trolls like this one. So, yeah, okay, that's all I got. Don't forget to check out my weekly Game of the Week segment every Friday. You might find something awesome there. And next Friday is going to be super awesome. So make sure you check that one out. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a comment if you have any questions or concerns, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks again, and I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure. So until then, I bid you all farewell.